amazing. Thank you, Trixie.
Wow, it is Oscar weekend, so tell me, what brings you to the W?
Well, I love the events that they host here. You know, they have such a great crowd. It's wonderful networking. I get to see all of my friends, my photographers, and it's just a good vibe overall.
Tell me more about the psychic readings, because I did Google you and stalk you last night, and I see so many amazing things in your website. So tell me, what inspired you? Well, actually, not what inspired you. What brought on this hidden talent? How did you know, and when did you know?
Well, I actually have had my gifts since childhood. There's something that has been passed down like generation through generation, mostly with the women in the family, just kind of like the color of your hair, the color of your eyes. And so I've actually had my gifts since I was about 4 years old. I've been able to speak to spirits, communicate with them since then. And then I actually went into doing so for a living about 10 years ago, full time.
Well, so what happened? I mean, what brought that on? How did you feel when that happened? A lot of people I know, I come from a family like that too.
Yes.
I have a cousin like that, and she got very traumatic and scared. But then when she found out her great talent, it became great. So
Yeah.
how did you cope with that?
Well, just like, you know, kind of like with your cousin, it was a similar thing to where, for myself, you know, my father's side of the family lived really far away from where, you know, we all lived. And so we were familiar with my mother's side. And so, you know, I knew from my dad that there were other people in our family that had that kind of gift. But it was a little overwhelming, honestly, when I was a child,
Yes.
right? Because nobody in my immediate family or really close to me had it. So it wasn't until I was about like 16 when we went to a family reunion with like our whole family, my father, you know, had all of his extended relatives there, that I then started to understand it a bit more. But yeah, it was a bit intense and distracting as a child to be able to see and perceive a lot of the things that other people couldn't. And my mother, of course, you know, growing up strict Catholic, it kind of scared her a lot, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So it was something that I didn't really like to use very much when I was a child. And then in my 20s was when I actually went through formal training on it, because at that point I just kind of could not control the gifts, and I wanted it to be shut off when I wanted it to be.
Oh, wow. So like for the viewers at home and for myself, of course, what happens when the one medium I know, a lot of us know that's been on TV, he scribbles on a notepad. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your gift? What do you do?
I'm a channel, meaning that like it comes in directly. So either it'll be shown to me, I'll hear it. I have different psychic abilities. Like I have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clairaudience, which is clear hearing, claircognizance, which is clear knowing, and even clairsentience, meaning like I feel it. I tend to be kind of like that as well, to where if I'm doing a reading for a client that's not like a mediumship reading, like connecting to a deceased loved one, I like to kind of get it down on a piece of paper as well, or type it up, because it's one of those things that once the information comes in, I don't remember it. And I know a lot of other psychics and are even like that as well, so it's easier for us to sometimes get it written down, and then we kind of review it, because it's like as it's coming in, you're consciously aware, but you're also not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting kind of state to kind of explain for at least myself.
Yeah. Well, you know, we all, once we sleep, there's different stages of sleep, and when you just mentioned conscious and non-conscious, and do you get this ability while you're asleep as well?
Yes.
So how's that like? Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny because even with my good friend who's here today, like, you know, I'd actually asked her, I said, hey, is one of your friends okay? Like, I saw her in my dream and she was in a hospital in bed, and she was like, actually, she's been in the hospital for 2 days. And I was like, oh, okay, got it, right? So sometimes it will just come in and I'll just see it in my dream as if I'm observing it, like almost like as if I'm watching it on a TV screen, or sometimes it's like I'm a part of that scenario in itself without being a part of it.
Does that sometimes scare you?
If it's not good stuff, yeah. Absolutely, because you know, there's something called prophetic dreams, right? And so that's actually one of the first ways we found out I had my gifts as a child, was I had prophetic dreams as a child, like meaning knowing if somebody was sick, knowing if somebody, you know, was going to pass away, or there was a car accident or some kind of danger, right? And so you would dream it and then you'd remember it when you wake up. So when it's not like, say, the greatest stuff, obviously then, yeah, it's a little bit jarring. You get a bit anxious.
Oh gosh, please don't have no dreams. And oh gosh, I mean, so much craziness with my life here. But I do love the animal spiritual stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do with the animal stuff?
Yeah, so I work on a variety of animal cases. Like one of the things I was trained in is like animal communication. Obviously they don't speak words, they don't communicate like we do, but what you can do is connect to an animal's higher self much like you would a human, meaning that if you are going up, you can see kind of behaviorally what's going on. You can do mediumship readings in that way. Or I work on a lot of like, say if somebody has a missing pet, is it still alive? Where is it? Helping them to locate it type of thing. But also, too, a lot of my work sometimes will be like healing work on people who have rescue animals, right? They'll be like, why does my pet have this anxiety over this noise? What can I do about this behavioral thing? And so in those cases, a lot of the times it's really helpful because I can see what they went through because, you know, the new owner has no idea what happened to that animal, and then you can advise them on like what can be done to help that animal to cope with that or to, you know, overcome whatever causes behavioral issues or anxieties.
Now, have you ever helped out the detectives for missing children or anything like that?
I've worked on like a couple of murder cases before, and then I've had people actually like contact me for like help with missing persons cases, things like that.
Did you help solve any?
Yes, I've helped like a couple of things like where it's more so like giving clues to cops, like certain things that they couldn't figure out in regards to like a couple murder cases that wouldn't, you know, add up. I've helped people that had like a loved one who overdosed in the back of a car, like a, you know, music producer, right? And basically they dropped him off in front of the emergency room, left him there, right? And helping the family to then figure out who was in the vehicle, what happened that night, so that they could then track down the people that he was actually with that, you know, just kind of left him on the sidewalk there.
Oh my goodness. And you got to see all that in your mind and kind of replay it and let them know what to look for. Is that how it works?
Exactly. And then like another thing we can do is like I've had families come to me before where they'll say, like, you know, it's a case and somebody's passed away, but they don't feel it adds up and they want like closure to know, okay, is this really how they died? Was there other parties involved? So like kind of unresolved like death cases as well.
Oh my goodness. How telling. Gosh, Carla. Well, let's enlighten the mood. Let's enlighten the mood. Tell me about that personal stuff. For your relationship, would you see something going on?
Oh,
you know?
well, that's
how does that work?
Dating is interesting because, you know, there's karmic stuff, there's soul contract stuff we have to play out with people. So there'll be times I'm dating a man and I know that we have karma to play out. I know it's not meant to last, but it's like also there's a karmic duty or like, you know, there's a ripple effect if I don't play it out, right? And so it's a strange thing to date and know like, okay, this isn't meant to last. And it'll be hard because sometimes it's even like when I want it to last, but knowing it's going to end in some way, right? But overall, I mean, I think the gifts can be helpful in that people come to me for business stuff. They come to me for different things in life so they know what route to take. I always say you might not want to know if something bad or something less than favorable is coming, but if you know, you can at least prepare and cushion it and you can handle it from a different state of mind when it does occur.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So let's let the viewers at home know how to find you online. That way, do you do online? Do you do this online? Can you do it online or do it personally only?
I only work via Zoom now. A lot of my clients are international, and so I've been doing it on Zoom for the last several years, and it's equally as effective. And my website is guidedbydivine.com, so it's guidedbydivine.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Carla Maria XOXO, and that's Carla with a C, Maria XOXO.
Oh my goodness, there you have it, guys. Here it is with Carla. Watch out, guys, because she'll find out what's going on, you know. You might be a little scared and worried today, but you know what? Yeah, I'm teasing, I'm totally. Gotta enlighten in the mood, but yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.